Green Tree Productions is proud to present Duncanville Weekly News. It's the good news just for the City of Champions, Duncanville, Texas. And now, here's your host, John Thompson.
Hello, world, America, Texas, and Duncanville, and welcome to this edition of Duncanville Weekly News for the last couple of weeks of October 2015. Glad you're logged on and watching. I say last 2 weeks because the Panther football team does not play on the 23rd, so consequently, the heart of our show is not going to be there. So we're going to be back on November the 3rd with the next show. On this one, though, it's pretty varied. We have promotions and information about the 3 big events that are coming up in Duncanville in the next couple of weeks, including the Smokin' Blues Barbecue, the festival that the Lions Club will be having on the 23rd and 24th, and the Boo Bash, the Duncanville Parks and Recreation Department has on October the 30th. Later in the show, we'll show you some segments of the DHS band and hi-hats as they performed at homecoming last Friday night. Of course, last Friday night was a football game, a homecoming game, and we'll go to the Panthers Den and show you the highlights of the Panthers versus the Midlothian Panthers. Also, the Duncanville Independent School District Education Foundation is hosting their annual Champions for Children golf tournament, and it'll be coming up in early November, and we'll tell you about that. But first, the Duncanville Athletic Department every year honors 5 or 6 folks for their Hall of Honor, and that is held the Thursday of homecoming week, which was last Thursday. And here's some abbreviated highlights. The Thursday night of homecoming week, the athletic department at DHS held their induction ceremony for the class of 2015 Athletics Hall of Honor. Here are some of the very abbreviated highlights, emceed by Athletic Director Kathy Self-Morgan.
Brian Boddicker will be introduced by head coach Phil McNeely, retired coach, and now school board member.
Brian is the kind of player you would say made himself a player. I can remember him coming in as the 8th grade, coming up after school in the summer, and we put him down in a corner and give him post drills. Well, if I didn't go down to get him, he'd work on the post drills for hours and hours. So he made himself a player. He got to play 10 years overseas. I'd tell you where they were, but half of them I can't pronounce. So, but I know that 2 of his 3 kids were born in France while he was playing overseas. He played 10 years. There's not a lot of people that get to play on the state championship team, high school, play in the Final Four in college, and get to make a living for 10 years playing overseas. So that I'm real proud of him for that.
It's kind of ironic because I officially retired last year from basketball, so it's kind of a way for me to say goodbye to the game of basketball. I wouldn't be here. That's my son right there. Anyway, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for the people in my life that shaped me into who I am. So first of all, I'd like to thank God, and second of all, my mom. She lost her husband and father in the span of 3 months. And one of my favorite quotes is, "It's not the love that breaks you down, it's the way you carry it." And you showed tremendous strength for my brothers and I. Moved away from your family in Iowa, brought us down here because your boys wanted to come to Texas. You've been a true inspiration for me, and I'll support you. Thank you. Really, truly, that's where I fell in love with the game. It might be because there was 8-foot rims and I could dunk like crazy, but that was huge for me. Roosevelt and David, you guys are here, but everybody that we played with from our 99 team to all throughout high school, thank all of you guys. And I definitely put our 99 team up against anybody.
Bill was born in Detroit and raised in Redford Township, Michigan, and he would probably tell you that he was just an average athlete, and that may have been the case. But through a lot of hard work and determination, he became a very good athlete, and to this day still owns a school record at Redford Township by earning 9 varsity letters. Like many boys, his dream was to play in the major leagues, and through that hard work and determination, he was able to become the 1970 first pick of the Major League Baseball draft, drafted by the Washington Senators. But he has the best comeback line of all time. He does it jokingly. If you joke about, well, how many home runs did you hit in the big leagues? He'll say, 7. How many did you hit? So he's always got to come back. Most of us have never hit a home run in the big leagues.
Ted Williams said I'd be the all-star catcher within 5 years. Well, it's a good thing he could hit, because he sure couldn't judge tell. Fly home from San Francisco on my day off. My boys were playing Little League, or playing youth baseball. Well, I come home, and I remember the one time I said, "Hey, Scott, you hit a home run today. Dad will buy you a bicycle." So, like clockwork, sure enough, there he goes and hits his first home run. So my buddies are over there with me. He said, "Hey, get a Schwinn, Scott, get a Schwinn. Don't let him buy you a Huffy." And then I used to take those boys out. I was lucky. I got to take them on road trips with me. Take them out to all the major league ballparks. We'd go out early in the afternoon and hit them ground balls, hit them fly balls, let them hit balls up in the seats. They had a great life, and I wish everybody could experience that. That's why I do what I do. It's been a great ride for me. Catching presidents on opening day, meeting movie stars.
Chris graduated in 1986 from Duncanville High School. He was captain of our the team as a senior. That year, our team was record-setting in every category for our school, for our state, and most of those records still stand today. And to be one of the best in a team like that, Chris has really been an outstanding example of what Duncanville has produced. Chris's senior year, we were state champions. His junior year, we were state runner-up. During his senior year, he was all-region, all-state. Made the all-state tournament team. Was district offensive coach MVP. That was in the Dallas Morning News all-metro team. And I don't think there was another award out there that he could have won that he didn't win that year. So fantastic year for that.
I want to tell you a story about Guy. When I was in high school, Guy is probably the most important person in the history of this school on from a boys soccer standpoint. There's not anybody even close to what he's accomplished here for the boys program. He was here when UIL was not a sport yet. It came into a state championship sport just before I became a freshman. And we took teams to the state tournament. Guy took teams to the state tournament 3 of his first 4 years. And he's just a fantastic person to help guide this program in its early days. And I was lucky to be a part of that. And I was lucky enough to be here when there were legends walking the halls in different sports. This story was happening in football and basketball, boys and girls basketball, golf and tennis and swimming and volleyball and baseball. And we had these iconic, legendary coaches that were here with us. And I was the beneficiary of being in the school at a time when that culture was being built. I mean, we had Coach Meadows and Coach McCarroll, Coach McNeely and Coach Gammon and Coach Rombach and Coach Greening.
As her high school coach, I could not be prouder for you in this moment. Jaylee took seriously what it meant to be a Duncanville Pantherette. Some of the characteristics that Jaylee exemplified are she was a student athlete and she took pride in her classroom accomplishments. She was an extremely competitive practice player and was prepared for the game at tip-off. Several years after completing her degree in finance and working in the banking world, I got a call from Jaylee, and she said, "Coach, I just missed the game." And she was thinking of entering the coaching profession. Since that discussion, she has worked her way through the collegiate coaching ranks and has this year taken the head coaching position at the University of North Texas.
I was fortunate enough to relocate here as a 5th grader. Best move ever, Mom. Thank you. Just the beginning of a high-quality education and of my basketball career. We moved to a city that was already nationally recognized in my sport. And coming up through the system, I remember Coach Hackett coming to our workouts. She sometimes brought the high school girls to help teach us and really pour it into us as young women trying to play basketball. We looked up to them. They were our WNBA stars before there even was a WNBA. You are and will always be Duncanville to me. We're called the City of Champions for so many athletic reasons, but I believe we're the city of people who are champions. On and off the field or court, Duncanville will not be what it is today without the people, and I'm so grateful to now feel like one of those people. I want to personally thank John Thompson. I know he nominated me, he spilled the beans, and I want to thank those that are responsible for voting for me. I want to thank the Kobe Kennedys, the Sharons, Amy, I see you back there, the Lakes, and the Tamika Catchings for being great models for me.
And Mark walks over, he says, "Coach, watch this." He drops a ball in this old bunker, hits a fairway wood out there, and it runs like a rocket. I thought, "Ooh, that's pretty good, that worked, yeah." And I thought right then, he's going to be the real deal. During his time, he won 10 tournaments, which is really phenomenal. But he didn't just win tournaments, he shot really good scores. He's still doing it today, as a matter of fact. But this time, we're going to see a brief video filmed about Martin, his acceptance. If we could play it now, would be good.
Thank you so much for the induction into the Hall of Honor. Duncanville was a great place to grow up because of its strong athletics.
Overall, Martin's extremely excited and humbled by this as well. It's a wonderful accolade, and you appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to the Duncanville Athletics Hall of Honor class of 2015 inductees.
Hi, I'm Jim Richardson. I'm the Executive Director of the Duncanville ISD Education Foundation. Pleased to be here with you today. Talk about an exciting event that's coming up. Jerry Frazier, our Treasurer and Chairman of the event. Jerry?
Thanks, Jim. It's the annual Champions for Children golf tournament. It'll be held at the Golf Club of Dallas on November 2nd. Check-in and lunch will start at 11 a.m. and the tournament will have a shotgun start at 1 p.m. Dinner will be served while awards are presented as soon as the golfers come in. Our title sponsor is North Star Builders Group. Other sponsors are Estes and McClure, Corgan Associates, James Memorial, and Chick-fil-A. Sponsorships and team slots remain available, including an option to recognize individual ISD school campuses as a whole sponsor for $200. And here's Jim Richardson, our Executive Director.
Thank you, Jerry. It's important to note that the golf tournament has been part of the $897,000 that the Duncanville ISD Education Foundation has provided to teachers within the district since its founding in 1996. We look forward to the golf tournament with its long history of support to continue to make a difference in the teaching experience that our children have and the opportunities for teachers to enhance that experience.
We look forward to seeing you at the Golf Club of Dallas on November 2nd. Sign up starts at 11 a.m. and you can sign up on the internet beforehand. You can get more information by calling Jim Richardson at 214-893-4759, or you can go to the internet, www.duncanvilleisdeducationfoundation.org. Hope to see you there.
Join us. We look forward to it.
It's Texas. It's fall. It's high school football time in Duncanville and the Panther Den Show on Duncanville Weekly News with highlights of last week's Panther football game and a preview of this week's game. The Panthers Den Show is brought to us by Jane's Memorial Chapel, our home-owned and operated funeral home celebrating life, honoring families, and serving you in your time of need. By the Wolverton Company, serving the Duncanville area's heating and air conditioning needs for longer than anybody can remember. By Leon Miller Commercial Properties on Main Street. Call Leon at 972-709-7181 if you need office or retail space. Jim McDonald State Farm Insurance Agency on Main Street. State Farm and Jim are there. Roma's Italian Bistro in the heart of Duncanville at Center and Main Streets. The Pope Financial Group of Raymond James and Associates. Dale Ward's Farmers Insurance Agency. By Rick and Jamie at Ben Franklin Plumbing. If there's any delay, it's you we pay. Duncanville's Park and Recreation Department. They've got something for almost everybody. Glow Family Dental. Right here in Duncanville on Wheatland by the tracks. Ambit Energy. Give Don a call. You'll be glad you did. And by Stan Smith, property management and real estate sales at Carl Overton Real Estate Office. Call 780-7826. And now, here's John with all the DHS Panthers football game highlights.
Hello, Duncanville football fans, and welcome back to the Panthers Den. Well, it was the Panthers versus the Panthers last Friday night as the Midlothian Panthers were in town to play the Duncanville Panthers at Panther Stadium on Friday night. And it was homecoming, as you will see, for the Panthers, the Duncanville Panthers. And here are the highlights. It was homecoming, and the homecoming king is Damian Jordan, and the queen is Alice Dunn. Those are the ones with the crowns. The Panthers hosted the Midlothian Panthers for their homecoming game, and honestly, this game, without some upsets in the last 3 weeks or so, is to see who doesn't finish in the cellar in District 8, 6A, as neither of these teams, along with Grand Prairie, have won a district game yet. The captains are seniors Reggie Qualls, Tristan Black, whoever number 99 is this week, and Jaquel Pierce. The officials did not make it real clear who won the toss and the rest, but Midlothian is to receive on the west end of the field. After the kickoff, Midlo has 3rd and 4 at the Duncanville 29, but this play for 45 yards put them in good position, saved by K.D. Phillips. But they have a 4th and 5, and this incompletion turns the ball back to Duncanville. But the best play of the first possession for our Panthers was by Cameron Peterson, the punter, 57 yards to the Midlow 24, down there by Keelan Mayfield. The teams exchanged possessions for a couple of times before the end of the first quarter, highlighted by this quarterback sack by LaKeith Jones. But after one, there's no score.
James Memorial Chapel has offered.
Midlothian has a 4th and 4 at the Duncanville 7 and opt to kick a field goal, which they do. So a minute and a half into the second quarter, it's 3-0 Midlothian. Duncanville lost 2 yards before lining up to punt on 4th down, but the snap again was to Dirk Nowitzki, but it's Cameron back there. And it sails into the end zone and covered there by the Midlothian Panthers for a touchdown. The PAT made it 10-0 Midlothian with 8.5 left in the second quarter. After the ensuing kickoff, the teams swapped punts. And with 5.5 minutes left in the second quarter, the Duncanville starts a drive from their 8-yard line, and Alfredo Porter runs for 16 yards. Twice. Then 2 penalties on Midlothian put the Panthers at the Midlothian 25, and with 3rd and 15, Mike passes over to Antarius Brown for 14 yards. And then on 4th and 1, Alfredo goes for 9 and a first down and goal. With 35 seconds left in the half, Mike twists it home. And Jose Delgado converts the PAT. And at the half, it's the Midlothian Panthers 10 and the Duncanville Panthers 7. At halftime, before the bands perform, 3 of the 5 Duncanville Hall of Honor inductees were introduced to the crowd, and they were Brian Boddicker and Bill Fahey and Chris Hayden.
The Smokin' Blues and Barbecue Festival, October 23rd and 24th at Armstrong Park in Duncanville. Friday night, the Smokin' Blues Jam, hosted by Andrew Junior Boy Jones and Carrie Lepi, with guest Bobby Patterson. Saturday's lineup includes the Straight Street Blues Band, the Buddy Henderson Trio, Larry Lampkin, Mike Morgan and the Crawl, Michael Lee, and Andrew Junior Boy Jones, Carrie Lepi, with guest Bobby Patterson. The Smokin' Blues and Barbecue Festival, October 23rd and 24th. Tickets, SmokinBluesBarbecueFest.com.
Attention all ghosts and goblins. You are invited to the Duncanville Parks and Recreation Spooktacular Boo Bash. It will be on Friday, October 30th at the bewitching hour of 7 p.m. The gates shall open to the Recreation Center Haunted Carnival, located at 201 James Collins Boulevard. The toll to enter shall be $7 for each child and $3 per adult. Haunted hay rides, ghoulish games, frightful foods, costume contests, and so much more. It's going to be a frightful night with fun for all. They're just dying to see you.
After Duncanville lost 2 yards on 3 downs, it's punt time again, and this one by Cameron went straight up and came straight down and left Midlothian needing only 3 plays to take advantage and score on this mob pushing play. The PAT left it at 17-7. Midlothian with 2 minutes gone in the third quarter. The teams then swapped 2 punts each in a game featuring 14 punt attempts. Duncanville has it at their 18-yard line when Jakari Brooks breaks for 29 yards to midfield. Then Mike completes a 17-yard pass to DeMario Green. But at this 12-yard line, Mike gets picked off to end the drive. So it's also the end of the third quarter. Midlothian punted again, and the Duncanville Panthers are at the mid-low 30 when Mike is intercepted again. Midlothian proceeded to run 11 straight rushing plays, but on 4th and 5, they only get 3, and thanks to Lakeith, Duncanville has another possession at their 20-yard line. Mike completes a scrambling pass to Antarius Brown for 13 yards. Then this one to Jakari for 35 yards into Midlothian territory. It's 4th and 4, and Mike completes to Jakari again to keep the drive alive. Then to Jakari again for the final 15 yards and a touchdown.
Touchdown, Duncanville. Jakari Brooks is in the house. Touchdown.
Josh converts the PAT. So with a little over 2 minutes left, it's now 17-14 Midlothian. Duncanville defense held while using all 3 timeouts. So Midlo punts with about a minute and a little bit more left. Mike gets 10 on this keeper. And gets out of bounds. But an incomplete pass on 4th down ends it, as Midlothian just takes a couple of knees to run out the clock. Final, Midlothian Panthers 17 and the Duncanville Panthers 14, as Midlo wins for the second year in a row, and they win their first district game.
Each show we have a play of the week. And against Midlothian last Friday night, it happened in the 4th quarter when,
trailing 17-7, Jakari Brooks makes a great rack to score the touchdown to put the Panthers in striking distance. And that's why it's a play of the week.
The play of the week is brought to us by the Pope Financial Group of Raymond James and Associates. See John or Don at 222 East Wheatland Road or call 972-780-0533 for your investment needs.
Also, we have a hit of the week. And in the game last Friday night with Midlothian, it came in the 1st quarter with no score when
Lakeith Jones made this play on the Midlo quarterback. This slowed down their drive, and that's why it's the hit of the week.
The hit of the week is sponsored by Roma's Italian Bistro, located at the corner of Center and Main Streets in the heart of Duncanville, serving freshly prepared, nothing fancy, just great Italian food. Free delivery, call 972-298-5900 or go to www.romabistro.com.
So we've completed 4 weeks now of action in District 8-6A, and here are the current standings.
Mansfield and Cedar Hill remain undefeated in District 8-6A. South Grand Prairie lost to DeSoto, so they are 3-1, and DeSoto is 2-1. Midlothian, with their win over the Panthers, are 1-2. The Panthers and Grand Prairie are yet to win a district game.
The District 8-6A standings are brought to you by the Dale Ward Farmers Insurance Agency, serving the Duncanville area for over 20 years. For all your insurance needs, call Dale at 972-293-0204.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
As I mentioned earlier, this is a 2-week show, and the Panthers will not play the next to the last weekend in October, but the last weekend, the last Friday, they will be at the Grand Prairie Gophers, a team that also is yet to win a district game. As we close this show, let's see some segments from the DHS Band and Hi-Hats as they performed last Friday night at homecoming. And we'll see you back here November the 3rd.